VGK wakes up. Tomas Hertl said that the team was sleeping at the first intermission, but Jack Eichel scores twice as the Golden Knights erase a 2-0 deficit, and they get their first regulation win of the season, 4-2 in Calgary. Our thoughts and recap coming up next right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone, from Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You could find us wherever you get your podcast. I'm a longtime sportscaster, a marketing consultant, and the host of the Believe in Vegas podcast. Chris, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports, and the host of the Hockey News Collectibles Show. Coming up ahead on today's show, the Carter Hart watch is on. Could happen by the time this hits the air. And no star treatment on VGK. And don't forget, you can now catch us right here if you're watching on TV. Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Tune in at 1 p.m. daily, Monday through Friday, SSSEN, Cox Cable Channel 77. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com. So Tomas Hertl called his team's effort against the Flames in Calgary last night terrible. He said that VGK slept through the opening period, as did we watching the game. We thought that it would be one of those nights for VGK because, 18 seconds into the game, Braden McNabb, his shot was blocked. Blake Coleman races down the ice. And we saw a big save by Adin Hill. We thought that would be an omen of things to come. It was not. And in the first period, Michael Backlund and Blake Coleman scored on Adin Hill. Another poor start for VGK. Why do you think that the Golden Knights are sleeping so early in these contests?
It's a good question and something that I don't think anyone has an answer to. Definitely the people who are involved in the personnel situations for the Golden Knights and the players on the ice. If they could fix it, we'd be in a different spot right now. I guess if we're going to look at the glass being half full, once the Golden Knights do figure out how to start a game, they're going to be pretty darn good out there. But until it gets to that point, there could be some precious points left on the table. Like you said, watching that breakaway, you're like, crap, here we go.
Yeah, here we go again. Another poor start. 14 consecutive games now. The tally's up to, including playoffs, preseason, and
a record, doesn't it? Is there a record for this?
For VGK, it definitely is. It's just, and you just go, here we go again, and then they have to dig out of the 2-0 hole. They had to rally. They scored the last 4 goals, and Jack Eichel steps up. Korzak the goal, Hertl the empty netter, and for the Golden Knights, again, a lot of questions that need to be answered, but they did it against a team that fades in the third period. What is it now? 10-1. The last 3 games, they've been outscored Calgary in the third period. Crazy, right? Crazy.
Yeah, good betting angle, I guess, if you took that to heart.
I told you yesterday they fade. They can't play. They play 40 minutes. That's it.
No, for sure. Like I said, good betting angle if you were a believer going into the third period. And if you watch the stats a little bit about the Calgary Flames, certainly could have made a few bucks, I guess. I didn't even think about that as I was kind of tailing the game last night. But listen, a lot of adversity in this game for the Golden Knights. First, we'll talk about it more later, but the top line does get benched for about 8 minutes last night, and they respond, of course. Adin Hill goes down. Schmid comes in. Very good job coming in cold off the bench and blanks the Flames for 40 minutes. So it's good to see the Golden Knights finding a way to rise above in a game when it could have gone sideways very, very quick.
It really could have. Adin Hill would be replaced by Akira Schmid. Schmid stopped all 19 shots at the start of the second, and Adin Hill suffered that lower body injury. He had his helmet ripped off on a shot. Was it Rasmus Anderson who took that shot? And how was Hill injured on that play when you thought it could have been a head injury? It was lower body. The way that he tweaked something.
So I didn't watch that particular instance closely in real time. I watched the replays and everything. And the first time I watched it, the first thing I thought was ACL, because you see the helmet pop, you see him go right to left, you see him put weight on his left leg, and he puts his glove immediately, like on his leg, kind of on his knee, and he just makes this weird pivot because he can't put any weight on it. At the time, I thought he left the game right away, and then obviously I did some research and talked to some people, and they said no, he left the game later, so he was able to at least finish the period out. So
period, yeah.
I think the Golden Knights have escaped like the dreaded ACL season-ending injury or anything like that. If we're talking a groin pull or something like that, well, we could be talking 2 weeks. We could be talking 4 weeks. Could be talking 2 months. That's what it is. It could be something else. By the way Cassidy sounded, I don't think this is going to be something that's going to be quick by any means.
No, it didn't sound that way. You're right.
Yeah, like he gave a little more in the post-game presser than he normally does when it comes to injuries.
Exactly. Cassidy was pleased by Schmid's performance. He turned away a flurry at the end of the second period of play. Yeah, so Adin Hill did finish out the first period, started the second. Schmid comes in. He's ice cold, tough position to come in until they got their footing. That's what Cassidy had said. And he said he's been good for us. Our guys are comfortable in front of him. Sheener. Isn't that what? Why is Eichel? How does Sheener come out of Schmid? I think he calls him Sheener. 19 for 19 on the stops. Just said you come in, you play your game, you get into the flow.
Calm. That was the other takeaway I heard from the post-game presser and everything too. And I mean, listen, this is an important time for the Vegas goaltenders. Schmid obviously has heard all the Carter Hart stuff. I got Twitter open, wondering if it seems like it's all but confirmed by VGK at this point. But again, until it's confirmed by VGK, it hasn't happened yet. So this is where you wonder, and I want to get too deep in this, you wonder if tonight's game might have an influence on a potential Carter Hart signing. Who knows? We'll figure that out later. But back to Adin Hill, back to before Adin Hill's injury. First goal, good passing. He's cheating a little bit. I don't know if there are a lot of goalies that are going to get over to make that save, but second goal, he's beat clean. Second goal, he was beat completely clean. I don't think there was much of a screen, and those are the saves that an NHL, forget, a starting NHL netminder, Stanley Cup winner. It's just it's a seeing eye save that an NHL netminder needs to save 99 out of 100 times.
Okay, so Eichel, 2 goals, 7 shots. 7 shots. Daviator, of course, every night betting over 2.5 shots. He goes to the bank again. Good to get a couple of 5-on-5 goals, right? That's what Eichel was talking about. His second goal, to me, after watching upon further review, I think he hit Dustin Wolf. When they showed another angle. He did. He did. Why didn't Calgary at least try to review the play? Why wouldn't you review that play?
Well, number one, if you challenge and lose, you're going to be on the penalty kill. That will start there. Dumbest rule in hockey.
That's a stupid rule.
Shootouts.
Lose a timeout or something, right? Lose a timeout.
Or don't make all goals have a quick review like the NFL does when instead of having the ref run all the way to the sideline and do a quick review, and then if it needs a longer review, so be it. But listen, I watched that play this morning. I saw what Bar Down or something like that was talking about it, that maybe there should have been a challenge, and it's a spot where the goalie puts his pad down. Jack is entitled to attack a 50-50 puck, and if it's under Dustin Wolf's pad and he pushes, that's different. The goalie possesses the puck. When it's a 50-50 shot, if it's sitting there loose, you're allowed to push the puck. And if the goalie's leg pad, if the goalie himself, if his glove is there, if the puck is loose, so be it. You can push. That's hockey.
I picked the wrong defenseman to score a goal last night.
Right. I was laughing when I heard it. We heard it in the car when it happened.
I said Shea Theodore, and it was Caden Korzak, who
2 years.
Nice shot.
2 years.
2-year drought. Mitchie boy, 4 points now on the season with a couple of assists last night.
He's fine. I mean, listen, move him around the lineup. He'll find a way to produce, and
it's point per game guy.
It'll be okay. I think it'll be okay as long as the defense holds up. Everything will be just fine.
One final question: the hit Colton Sissons on Zane Perek, clean or not? Mackenzie Weegar jumped in there. Could have been
We were driving in the
big
car
movie.
when it happened. I forgot to catch the replay, but the home radio broadcast was
Clean. It's
very
clean.
adamant. The
It's
hit
clean.
happened in the chest
Yeah, it's
as a
clean.
result of a clean hit. He went down. His head hits the ice twice
Yeah. It
as
was
a
down.
result of a clean hit, and they very quickly made the right change upon review.
Some reports are saying that goaltender Carter Hart, who was involved in the 2018 World Junior scandal for Team Canada, is headed to Las Vegas in all likelihood. We are on alert, as Chris mentioned earlier, to see if he signs with VGK today. First day of eligibility to sign. Many would not like this. We'll talk more about it next on Lockdown Golden Knights. The NFL season is definitely here, and FanDuel has an offer for you that you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you'll get $300 in bonus bets if that bet wins. And right now, you just pick a bet, you put down the $5, and if it hits, you will be unlocking $300 in bonus bets across the application. So it's really cool. They definitely pay you right after the game's over. We love how FanDuel gives you so many ways to get into the game, so to speak. You can build the parlays, player props, that's a specialty of Golick and I, and even follow the live lines during games. It makes watching football so much more entertaining and exciting, and especially when you got a little bit of juice riding on games. Whether you're a casual fan or you love to dive into all the statistics, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com, and download the FanDuel app today and get things started. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Vegas, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting. Don't forget, on Fridays, we've got WTF Day, and we appreciate everyone and all those comments coming in, pouring in, especially people, the everydayers, and then also the folks that tune in on SSSEN. We're getting rave reviews. That was a bad photo of me, huh? The other day.
It was great.
Somebody was commenting.
It was good.
I said, that's the best it gets. Like, for the anniversary of 4 years now.
We record at 5:45 a.m. and this is what you get.
We don't put the makeup on TV.
I'm not wearing pants right now.
TMI. And so today, Chris, the first day that players involved in the Hockey Canada scandal, let's say, can sign NHL contracts after their names were cleared, right? So VGK has been said to be in the mix. They have supreme interest in Carter Hart, but due to goalie troubles now, Hart could be the right time, could help VGK on the ice, but not good off of it. So if he signs today, we're going to see a ton of reactions, perhaps mostly bad, you would imagine, on a signing of Carter Hart. And Matt Murley from Spittin' Chicklets, the podcaster, said yesterday, we could get the official news today, Carter Hart as a Golden Knight.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to take in here. First, we'll stick with the on-ice side of this. And even before Adin Hill's unknown as far as how long he'll be out, his current injury, it seemed like it was a likely path the Golden Knights were willing to head down. There's questions about Schmidt as a backup, although last night he played pretty good. So, you put that into a blender, like, okay, is this needed? With the situation, I think Hill's injury could be the one thing that could actually curtail this from happening. And the reason I say that is because let's just say Adin Hill is worst case scenario month to month, which basically probably puts him somewhere between December and January, hopefully sooner, but let's just say December and January. Worst case scenario, we're spitballing. We have no idea how long he's going to be out for. This gives the Golden Knights an opportunity to get an extended look at Schmidt and Lindbaum, presumably, who would be the next goalie up from Henderson, without having to make the commitment to Carter Hart. Carter Hart, we know the list is very small. The list might only be Vegas at this point, although I've heard Edmonton might be peeking back in, but that seemed to be squashed pretty quickly, a few months ago when all this was being discussed. So at the end of the day, do the Golden Knights need to rush right now on Carter Hart, or just let someone else bite the bullets?
Ooh.
This is like this literally could have changed in the last 7, 8, 9, 10 hours with this Adin Hill injury. And this is a spot where an argument can be made. You got a good Golden Knights team in front. They should be able to, at worst, tread water as they learn what their goaltending situation truly is behind Adin Hill. And that seems to be the better path at this moment.
I'm starting to believe that VGK budgeted for the annual Adin Hill injury. They budgeted for that. On Tuesday, another member, Chris, of that group suspected in the case decided to go the KHL route. Michael McLeod signs a 3-year deal with the KHL team. And initially, remember, Carolina, the Hurricanes were hot and heavy on both McLeod and on Carter Hart, but then the backlash was so excessive that they backed out. Essentially, they took the El Paso. They passed.
VGK does not care about the potential backlash. VGK is willing to face the situation head on, and I'd be very interesting to see how this is faced head on. And Kelly McCrimmon, this is the one signing that you might not see McCrimmon necessarily field questions about, and you leave it to someone like George McPhee, who can probably handle the situation with much more, I don't know if empathy is the proper, whatever the proper word is. I think McPhee would be the better one to face the questions with an open microphone, number one. But again, you look at Conley, you look at other players in the American League that the Golden Knights have. You look at other situations. There's a member of the coaching staff that does have a documented history as well right now. And the
you look
Knights,
at Fred Howden. Hey, don't give a pass on Howden. Howden was there initially in Canada.
Well, I don't know if pass is the way I would say that, but Howden was a member of the team when these things happened. He was answering questions, and is having Howden and Hart together as well? That's another question that, again, George McPhee would have to answer to. And I know there's a lot of people on one side of the fence that are going to say not guilty, moving on. There's another side. I forgot the terminology when it's not guilty, but it's not necessarily exonerated. Was that the word? Did I say that right? Forgive me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know there's that side of the situation as well. And whatever side you're on, I respect everyone's opinion on this, but our opinion has very little to no weight in this. If the Golden Knights, if Kelly McCrimmon, George McPhee, and at the end of the day, Bill Foley would have to sign off on this one. At the end of the day, if those three men get together and say, we're doing this, they're going to do it, and they will face it head on. The Golden Knights have, you look at
out in front of this already, I think. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You said they've been out in front of this or no?
I said they should have been out in front.
No, they haven't been. If you mention his name, it's $1 in the swear jar, and your media credentials get taken away.
Mark Lazarus, you can't talk about this. No, this is you're out. They boot him out. Like, they kick him out of the presser. They take away his credential to cover the game.
Which makes it very strange if the Golden Knights do sign Carter Hart. But I mean, listen, the Golden Knights have looked for players with value through the draft and free agency. Whether it's, you look at Peyton Krebs suffering an injury right before the draft, he drops down, Golden Knights take a chance. Trevor Conley's situation, he drops down due to his past, Golden Knights take a chance. We'll see how that situation plays out. So the Golden Knights are looking to get players on a dime, so to speak. Carter Hart, when he was on his game 2 years ago, when he was on his game, was a very, modestly speaking, above average netminder that could get you 50, 55, 60 appearances, and most of them are going to be quality appearances. So now, I mean, right now, Golden Knights fans, I'll ask you guys the question. Akira Schmid, let's just pretend. Adin Hill, he's done the rest of the season. He's toast. AC, whatever happened, he's done the rest of the season. Are Schmid and Lindbaum the answer to get this team to a Stanley Cup? And I'll jump the gun and say no.
No, you're jumping the gun. No, that's definitely odds-on favorite there. Is this real? Like the Wikipedia already saying that?
I saw that, Tony. It's
Carter
funny. I did the same Twitter search and that popped up. You did the exact same thing I just did. You typed Carter Hart in the search bar. You clicked on latest to see if there's any news right now.
Yeah, well, and they have him in the Wikipedia as a member of the Golden Knights. So We'll find out. They'll do it like moments after this podcast is recorded, as always.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching. I wonder if we'll get it. I guess 9 a.m. is the expected time, but we'll see. 9 a.m. local Vegas, I should say.
Coming up next, there is no favoritism to VGK stars, as we learned last night, and it refreshed our memories that Bruce Cassidy will not stand for sloppy play. Okay? More ahead on Lockdown Golden Knights. No sloppy podcast either. Most people cannot name all their financial accounts or what they're worth or what have you, whether it's 401ks, investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal financial tool. It brings all the finances together. And guess what? It's on an easy-to-use interface. No stinking spreadsheets. You could do it on your laptop. You can check it out on your phone. And it's built for people like Golick and myself. We're very busy. If you've put off organizing all your finances, then Monarch is definitely for you. They do the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts together in just a matter of minutes. We see the clear data visuals. You get smart categorization of your spending, and you finally feel in control of all your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. So don't let financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL today, monarchmoney.com. Do it in your browser, and you get half off of the first year. That's 50% off the first year at monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL. Don't forget Friday's WTF days right here. Of course, we have so much fun with all of your comments, and there's a lot of comments out there this week, including my photo. The women always jump in about why they use that picture, right? Like, are there any other photos? I'm a no paparazzi guy. I don't take photos. They use a photo of our show. Why do I have to explain? And we appreciate all the everydayers, and thanks to folks tuning in on SSSEN statewide. I wonder if the people in Reno understand this sense of humor we have here. Did Bruce Cassidy?
I wonder if when I go to Reno for this is my Reno bowling shirt. It's funny I do that.
You're going back to bowling up there.
Oh yeah, no. I wonder when I go to Reno if you'll be like, "Hey, locked on, woo!"
They're allowing you back in Reno.
Oh yeah.
Did Bruce Cassidy bench the top line last night?
Yeah.
For about the second half of the first period. Eichel, Stone, and Barbashev were that top line, and at the time he did that, they were both -2 on the ice.
Yeah, listen, puck management, I don't care who you are, poor puck management, turning the puck over in your defensive zone, you will ride the pine with Coach Cassidy. And this was also a good opportunity, not just because they were, hurting the Golden Knights temporarily. It sends a message to the entire roster that, hey, if we're not pulling our weights, if you're not pulling your weights, you're not going to see the ice. Doesn't matter if you're Cole Reinhardt making your BGK debut. Doesn't matter if you're Jack Eichel, who ultimately has an amazing game, and he definitely message delivered to Jack, message received as well. So this is what you love about Coach Cassidy. He's talked about equal accountability, probably going back to when the Golden Knights signed him. McCrimmon was giving him the evil eye, watching him talk to make sure he wasn't slipping at all. So. This is, best case scenario minus the injury, of course, to Adin Hill in this game. Cassidy sends a message, and boom, Golden Knights walk away with a victory. So I think you have to credit Coach Cassidy's effort in this game for getting that spark, which got the first regulation victory of the season for the Golden Knights, who technically are undefeated in this young season.
So do you think that Tomas Hertl told the team to wake the heck up?
Yes,
because
sure.
In between periods, he was like, we played terrible. We were sleeping out there, like all these things. Like he was just sort of ripping.
Who is that locker room voice right now? Is it because Marchessault you think would be that one?
I bet you Hertl went in there and went off. I bet you.
Stone number one would be the chalk, and then probably Hertl. I wonder how long does it take Marner to not wake up, but to say something like that to the team?
Yeah, no, good point, because everyone. And I think Marner's kind of still feeling his way out, there in the locker room and what have you. But
hey, he wasn't benched yesterday.
Yeah, he was not benched. He could say that. The injuries are starting to mount, right? So
Yeah.
even Mark Stone got hit on the wrist by the Jeremy Lauzon shot. Awkward, of course, the crooked shot. The guy can't shoot very well. And so he had to come off the ice, but then he got the helper on the Eichel goal. And then we saw my guy, Cole Reinhardt, getting into the lineup. Had 3 hits last night in front of a lot of friends and family because he's from up there in Canada and Calgary. So he drew in for Brett Howden last night. Again, like injuries right now. And
Hannafin's still not playing.
Hannafin wasn't even on the trip. And then now you have the annual Adin Hill injury.
Which didn't happen. It's not annual because it didn't happen last year. Credit Adin. He was healthy last year.
Okay. Okay, I have to take that back. I think they budgeted for an injury this year. But what are they going to do now? Because a lot of moving parts here. A lot of pieces are going to come in and out of the lineup.
This is where the Golden Knights' depth is going to start to be tested, and starting with the defense, losing Hannafin, who I think had 24, 25, 26 minutes in some of these first few games here. That's obviously a very initial concern, and the hope is, Ben Hutton and Korzak and White Cloud continue to do their job for this team. And defensively, that was probably the concern. First couple of games, it was a little ugly. And now the defensive side seems to be getting a little bit better. And now when you have someone like Hannafin, hopefully going to be back sooner than later, it's going to help things, I think. So, glass half full to a degree when it comes to that. But again, back to the Coach Cassidy situation, it doesn't matter who you are on this team. And this is something that you have to admire about Coach Cassidy, because a lot of NHL coaches are afraid to pull the trigger on benching their captain, their leading scorer, and a great complimentary piece to that line, Ivan Barbashev. Cassidy said, I don't care. You guys are not playing up to the standard of the team. So you guys are going to sit and watch hockey for a little bit. And that's tough on a player, especially Mark Stone, the team's captain. So great response, great job by Cassidy in this game, and maybe a little bit of momentum coming back home Thursday night.
I think we're seeing a much different Jack Eichel this season, personality-wise. And also, he said he's gonna rush the net more frequently after the success last night. Saw an opening, saw that post on the far side, took advantage of it.
He saw it from the friggin' face-off circle, which is crazy.
Yeah, that stick is going to be banned. Between that and the tush push, I think they're both going to be banned for next season. We appreciate everyone tuning in.
I ban the tush push. They do it well. Anyone can do it. Whatever.
Of course, we'll be back again tomorrow for Chris Golick. Tony Cardasco from Vegas. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.